What is an herb-infused oil, and how is one actually made, from the garden all the way to the finished jar? Here is the short answer. An herb-infused oil, sometimes called a macerated oil, is a carrier oil like olive or coconut oil that has had whole herbs steeped in it for weeks until the oil takes on the herb's color, scent, and character. I'm going to show you the entire process the way we do it at InVine Botanicals, a small batch herbal skincare maker in Tallahassee, Florida. We grow the herbs, infuse them, and make every product ourselves. By the end of this video, you'll know what an infused oil really is, why the herbs are dried first, why cold infusion takes 6 to 8 weeks, and how to try a simple version at home. The word to know is maceration. The herbs soften and steep in the oil over time, the way fruit steeps in a pitcher of sangria. This is not the same thing as an essential oil. An essential oil is a concentrated aromatic extract distilled from pounds of plant material down to a few drops. An infused oil is the opposite. The carrier oil itself is the finished ingredient, full-bodied and gentle, carrying the herb's color, fragrance, and personality. On its own, an infused oil can be used exactly as it is, as a body or massage oil, and it's also the foundation for balms, creams, and body butters. At InVine Botanicals, we build every formula on whole herb-infused oils, and a few essential oils, like tea tree and lavender, are added only at the end as finishing notes. A proper infusion starts long before any oil is poured. It starts with how the plants are grown. We grow our own herbs in raised beds and pots at our garden in Tallahassee, Florida. Peppermint, spearmint, lemon balm, rosemary, basil, echinacea, and turmeric all thrive here through Florida's long warm season. Growing the herbs ourselves means we decide exactly how each plant is raised and exactly when it gets picked. Every herb is harvested at its peak when the leaves and flowers are at their most aromatic. Echinacea blooms are cut by hand and gathered whole into harvest baskets. From here, the harvest moves straight to the drying room. Rosemary comes in as generous whole sprigs, woody stems and all. And this is where most of the real work happens, not in the pour, but in the preparation. Here's the step most home recipes skip, and it matters more than any other. The herbs are fully dried before they ever touch oil. Fresh-cut plants are mostly water, and water trapped under oil is the main reason home infusions go bad. Drying first keeps the finished oil clean, clear, and stable on the shelf. Our drying room runs at 76 degrees Fahrenheit and 35% humidity, with circulation fans moving air over screen racks around the clock. The room stays completely dark because light fades both the color and the aroma of cut herbs. Depending on the herb, drying takes 4 to 9 days. Thin leaves finish quickly, and dense flower heads need the full stretch. Once the herbs are dry, there are 2 ways to get them into oil: heat or time. A heat infusion warms herbs and oil together over a double boiler and finishes in a few hours. A cold infusion uses no added heat at all, just dried herbs, oil, and weeks of patience at room temperature. We use the cold method for every single batch. The jars rest in a climate-controlled room at 74 degrees in the dark for 6 to 8 weeks, depending on the herb used in the infusion. And our infusions never sit in sunlight. A sunny windowsill looks romantic, but light slowly bleaches away exactly what you're trying to capture. Now let's build a batch from start to finish, the way it happens on our production table. Each infusion starts with whole dried herbs, never powders, measured out from the drying room. Whole herbs matter here. Powdered herbs cloud the oil and slip through every strainer, while whole leaves and petals strain out cleanly. The herbs are packed loosely into wide-mouth glass jars with room for oil to move around every leaf and petal. Whole rose petals hold their deep color even after drying. This jar is destined for our rose renewal cream. Then comes the carrier. We pour organic olive and coconut oils sourced from trusted organic producers. The oil goes in slowly until every piece of plant material is completely submerged. Submersion is the rule. Any herb left poking above the surface is sitting in air instead of oil. A glass stirring rod works the trapped air bubbles out from between the leaves. Bigger jars get a slow, gentle roll instead, moving the oil through the packed herbs. Each jar is capped tight and finished with a printed label naming the herb and the infusion date, so we know exactly when it reaches its 6 to 8 week mark. Then the batch moves to dark shelving, where time does the quiet work. Week by week, the oil deepens in color, pulling gold, amber, and rose tones from the herbs inside. After its 6 to 8 weeks, the infusion is ready to strain. The oil pours through a fine mesh strainer, and the spent herbs stay behind. What comes through is clear, golden, and unmistakably fragrant. This is the whole reason for those patient weeks. That infused oil is the base of everything InVine Botanicals makes. To become a balm, the strained oil is gently warmed and blended with beeswax from a local Tallahassee beekeeper, plus vitamin E, a natural antioxidant that protects shelf life. The beeswax sets the texture, and the infused oil brings the garden's character. Every formula is developed by Janice, our founder, starting from these infused bases. The rosemary, mint, and lemon balm you watched growing become our bug bite balm, breathe-free balm, and muscle revive balm. Rose petals become the rose renewal cream, and spearmint becomes our spearmint hand cream. Everything is made this way, in small batches that are poured and capped by hand, never stockpiled. If you'd like to try a simple infused oil at home, here is the honest version. Dry your herbs completely, pack them loosely into a clean glass jar, and cover them fully with olive oil. Cap it, date it, keep it somewhere cool and dark, and give it at least 6 weeks before you strain. Stored cool and dark after straining, the finished oil keeps well for many months. Olive oil is the most forgiving carrier for a first batch. It's stable, easy to find, and strains cleanly. The hardest ingredient is patience, and it's the one that makes all the difference. And if you'd rather let us do the waiting, every balm and cream made from these infusions is at InVineBotanicals.com. Thanks for spending a few minutes in our garden and infusion room. From all of us at InVine Botanicals in Tallahassee, Florida, we'll see you in the next one.